cars. So what they do is they mainly just insure classic cars, and they make sure they're insured to their full replacement cost. So what we're gonna do here is they always start off with the zip code. So we're gonna put, this is an LA zip code, so we're gonna go with this one. And the most important thing about this is make sure that you know what the client's specific needs are. Like, is it what kind of vehicle is it? Are they just restoring it, or have they modified it in any way? Because if they have modified it, you could actually insure their modifications on with this company, and it'll make sure that if anything ever happened to the car, that it gets fully replaced along with its modifications. So here we're gonna get into the quote. So it's asking for the effective date. We're gonna set it to the future because we're just practicing here. So we're gonna set it to the near future. A lot of times with this company, once you've submitted, sometimes they do require some underwriting. They just want to know how many cars are in the household, and they want pictures of the vehicles sometimes, but it just depends. So we're gonna put one driver, one car, which is the car we're trying to insure, the collector's vehicle. You could put multiple cars here. Actually, she does have more cars, so we're gonna put 3 cars because she has a total of 3, including the collector's vehicle. But the collector's vehicle, she only has 1. Well, how many people are gonna be driving it? It's only gonna be 1, so we're gonna keep it at 1. We're gonna put 0 here because nobody else is gonna be driving the vehicle. Has anyone in the household had any moving violations? No. If you're not sure if they had a violation or not, check their current auto policy and see if they do have a violation. If not, then just ask the customer or run a DMV report or run a report with another company. But this customer, we know they have a clean record, so we're gonna put no. And she hasn't had any claims. Yeah, it's good to make sure you have all this information correct, because a lot of times the insurance, based on the information you put, the underwriter will say if it's going to be if it's going to be insurable or not. So here we're going to put the client's information. We said it's in Los Angeles. We don't need to put an email, but we can if we want to in the future. It's not really going to ask for a lot of very specific information, mainly because it's just a quote, and they don't really get that specific. So we won't need a driver's license number. We won't need anything like a driver's license number. We won't need a VIN number, because they're just trying to run a quote, like an estimated quote. But the quotes usually stick to what they are, as long as as long as the information that you put in there is correct, then you should be fine. Okay. Okay, so she's been licensed for 26 years. And the way you calculate this is you could just the way to calculate how long they've had their licenses, just get the year they were born, add 16 to that, and then whatever number it gets you, like, let's say it's 1997, then you get whatever year you're in, like 2018, 2019, and then you minus the 1992, 1997, and that'll give you the full amount. Well, here are the type of vehicles that you can pick. You could pick semi trucks, fire trucks, military tractors, scooters, cars, trucks, and motorcycles. It's all gonna be the same thing. They're all gonna work the same exact way. So what we're gonna do here is we go to cars, and this is mainly for collector's vehicles. So don't think you can get like a newer vehicle and insure it on here, okay? It's for a collector's vehicle. So it'll work for a really, really old car, like something made in the 1950s, 1960s, and it'll also work for a newer car. But the only way the newer cars will work if it's like a Lamborghini, if it's a Ferrari, if it's something very exotic, then you can go ahead and get it insured through here. Or maybe it's a special edition vehicle, you can go ahead and get it through here. So we're going to do 1968. It's going to be a 1968 See here, it's a Datsun. It's a 510, and it's a base model, and it's the 4-door station wagon. So yeah, just make sure you know exactly the information of the car. Getting some pictures of it and seeing the registration will get you all the right information. We know this is the exact vehicle she has, and the value of it is 8,000, including the modifications that she's made. This is just accounts for all the paint, all the maintenance. The she just got a new motor for the vehicle, transmission changes, interior work, stuff like that. Stereo systems. It's all gonna be in here, okay? She hasn't modified it, so it's just stock. She just pretty much she renovated it, or she brought it back to life. She was working on it for a while. You can always ask your clients how long they've been working on this car. This one, they were working on it for quite some time, but some people they work on it or they just bought it and stuff like that. It's better to know what kind of vehicle it is or how special it is, because a lot of times insurance companies, they like, if you try to insure somewhere else, insurance companies will only insure it to the Kelly Blue Book value, and sometimes it's a special model. I've noticed this a lot with the Buick Grand Nationals. They came out in Fast and the Furious. So a lot of people bought them, and they were considered a very collector's type vehicle with a high performance. And on when you quote it with Nationwide or National General or with another company, it comes up as a Buick Regal instead of as a Grand National. So what happens is it's underinsured. So just make sure you put the right year, make and model of the vehicle, and the right type of model that it is, and how much it's worth. The insurance is going to go off what you put that it's actually worth, because that's what they're going to be insuring. They're going to be insuring the full value of the vehicle. Okay, so usually these people, they always have a private garage, or they always make sure that it's in a private place where it can be stored, because a lot of times people try to steal them because they're older vehicles. They're a little bit easier to steal, or maybe they just want to take their parts. It's good. A lot of them do have it. If they don't, you could just put no. And she mainly uses this for shows and clubs. So what good thing to know is pleasure seasonal driver. The only way that Hagerty won't accept this is if you put daily driver. They don't want daily drivers or business use, because that means that you're consistently using the vehicle, and they usually only do collectors vehicles. So collectors vehicles are usually vehicles that aren't driven as often. So always make sure that, ask the client if it is a daily driver, try to do it. Ask them how many miles they drive, and put it in here and see if it'll affect the quote or if it'll stop the quote. You can even help estimate the usually when people use it for shows and clubs, they use it for max 1,000 miles. They don't really put a lot of mileage on the vehicle. Hagerty, you can go really as low as you want on the mileage. Just make sure you ask the client how much they actually do drive their collector's vehicle. Usually they don't drive it that much, mainly because it's a collector's vehicle, so they have a daily driver already, or they have other cars that they drive instead of this one. But just make sure you ask the client and you verify with them so you could put it on the proposal. But other than that, this is a good starting point. You could always go higher if you like. It won't make that much of a difference to the quote. So we're going to give her a $500 deductible. And then we won't add another one. And honestly, Hagerty, they do give really great rates. I'm going to show you here. I rarely offer the MedPay, but you could offer it if you'd like. But what you can do here is, I believe we're at 100, 300. Cool. So we're at a very high limits here. These are 100, 300, 100, and 100, 300 again. And then this is for most motorcycles. So whenever you do a motorcycle quote, you'll put the passenger liability here. So we're going to go next. And here you go. So see how it gives you different options. Each option is going to be a little bit different. So this one's $162 more a year, but it does give you like the benefits of it. They're pretty self-explanatory. There's a roadside service created for classic cars, automatic discounts, members only events, coverage options for spare parts for Hagerty and insured vehicles. This also covers the tools to maintain the vehicle if you have any tools in the car. This does insure the spare parts a little bit more. The limit is a little bit lower here. It's a $750,000 limit. This is a $1,500 limit for any collector car. So they're all a little bit different. The Drivers Club, obviously, there's a 60-mile plan. Then this one's a 150-mile plan. But we're just gonna keep going here with this one. And this one's like a little bit better, but it's only $28 more for the whole year. So just so you guys can fathom this, so they're getting that roadside that we were talking about in the Hagerty's Drivers Club. So they're getting that roadside with 60 miles. They're getting the spare parts for $750 in coverage. They're getting their comp and collision on here as well. They're getting their full coverage, which is insured up to $8,000. They have 100, 300, 100 uninsured motorists as well, and it's only going to be $186 a whole year. That's almost less than $20 a month for all these coverages on a collector's vehicle. So it's just really good. It's a really good product to offer, and it makes sure that the value is insured to its full value, and it's make sure that the vehicle is insured to its full value, see guaranteed value, and it's made for classic cars, and it gives a really great rate for a lot of people with collectors cars, and it's a good market to get into. So whenever you guys will need to run any of this, make sure you go through this company, and so you could insure all those. Always ask a client if they have a special vehicle. Make sure it's properly insured, and it's a really great company with really great coverages. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you guys wanted me to go a little bit more in depth with other things, or if you want me to change this video a little bit, let me know, and I'll make some revisions to this vehicle. And just to let you know, you will need the VIN number later on. The reason why they don't ask the VIN number now is because since some vehicles are a little bit older, the VIN numbers don't really pull up anymore because they're a lot older. So it's better to just get that VIN number, get all the information you would get for a regular auto quote, and then just add that later, okay? So just add that, just have that information ready for the future once you're ready to bind, okay? And then you would just have to go here to press continue, and you'll be able to bind the policy, okay? All right, everybody. Well, sorry for extending it a little bit longer, but yeah, if you want me to make any more changes, if you want me to go a little bit more in depth, let us know, and we'll make another video, okay? Thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you guys have a great day. Goodbye.